Welcome to another edition of Home Theater Tours. And with us is longtime listener to my podcast, Nelson Wilkinson. Nelson, welcome to the show.
Thanks. Great to be here.
Hey, Nelson. Nice to meet you.
Same way, DJ. Enjoy watching yours as well.
Oh, thank you. Thank you very much. Thanks for being here. This is I can't wait to get to this great theater. Really excited to talk about some of these pictures here. Very colorful. I love the colors. I'll tease the listeners and the viewers with that. I love the colors here. You did a great job. They could kind of see it behind you too.
I was excited when Nelson sent me an email saying, "Hey, I've got a theater that I'd like to share," and we've talked about it for a long time, and it was cool seeing it for the first time, and now we get to share it with our listeners. So I believe we're going to play some videos, and you are going to narrate that for us.
Okay. All right. So this is coming in the door from the hallway. This is down in my basement. Been working on this theater since the late 90s. It started off just as a 27-inch TV and a sofa, and one of those things where you do a little bit more and a little bit more as you go along, and this is what I've ended up with. I've tried to use equipment that is top notch, but usually not starting off that way. Usually starting off with something that I can get by with, and then upgrading along the way. 2 rows of seats, as you can see. These were eBay purchases. I needed something that was narrow enough that I could still get by the seats after they were in. So they're shoved up against the wall to one side and a little bit of walkway on the other side so that we can get by to the back row. Got a small platform in the back for the back rows. I've got a IT rack over there that I painted black. That was free, so I put some shelves in it to put all the equipment in. I've put up made some room treatments to match the color scheme, which comes from these curtains. The curtains, kind of where I got all the colors from to go in this room. So started with the curtains and went to Home Depot, and they matched colors to a lot of the blocks on the curtains. JVC NX5 projector in the back on a little shelf up above that back door. A Denon A4500H AVR, a B&K amp that used to use for a lot of power, but now it's just an add-on for the surrounds and to fill out all 11 channels. So I've got 7 SVS speakers all around the bottom, SVS PB13 Ultra up in the front, and SVS PC4000 in the back corner. I've got bass. I've got 4 overhead speakers for Atmos that are hanging from the ceiling. They're the same as the surround speakers. I have a Panasonic UB420 disc player. I still love my disc aura. Still the best way to go for sound and video quality. And if I got something I really like, I'll buy it on disc. But mostly I'm watching off of streaming these days. That's the color blocks that match the curtains inside. When I went to Home Depot and told the guy I wanted all of these colors, I think he thought I was nuts. But he mixed paint for me for about an hour.
It's a great entrance. I mean, it gives you that like almost like a lobby feel of a real theater, because you're coming into that colorful environment and then walk into that room. Once the lights go out, you don't see them anyways, but it's that nice contrast between complete darkness and then when the lights come back on, you get it's really nice, nice ambient colors. I don't know what else to call it. I'm really impressed. Very nice job.
Well, thanks.
It reminds me of something. I couldn't tell. Was it a game show? Was it like the Hollywood Squares? It was something those pictures remind me of something, but I cannot remember.
Yeah, the Hollywood Squares.
That's what it was. Exactly. It was a Partridge Family.
Or the Brady Bunch.
Yeah.
Thank goodness we're old enough to help each other out.
Well, you and I are the same age, Ara, so I get all your references on the podcast.
DJ's younger than us, but he's still okay.
Nelson, is that a an old Sony VHS player?
Yeah, I've got several pieces of equipment that I've still got hanging around, just because, I've still got old camcorder video and everything, and right now the VCR and the CD player is hooked up. The VCR is not hooked up because there's no analog inputs on the receivers anymore. And then up in the top there's an old Samsung DVD recorder from when I was starting to transfer all my tapes to DVD. That's my left surround right next to the rack. All of the surround speakers, the back, the overheads are all the SVS Prime satellites. I've been real happy with the SVS speakers, and this is my remote, my Harmony that I hope it never dies because I'll never get another one.
Those are nice. I never got that one.
I really like it because you got a nice big screen. You've got hard buttons for channel up, channel down, mute, volume. You've got the directional arrows and OK. You've got all of those buttons on the right, but you still have the flexibility of the touch screen. You can customize however you want. So that's the start screen with the activities, just like you'd get on a normal Harmony remote.
It's funny. I had something like that as well, but the family didn't like it. They said it was too big, even though it had the hard buttons. They just said, we just want a plain remote. That's what we have now, just a plain remote. It's
relatively small. It's not huge. You can see the DVDs and Blu-rays there next to it. But it's I've had it for a long time now. My only complaint is that everything is IR. You can't use the Harmony hubs with it. And the IR has just got a lot of delays with it. And so I've actually gotten with the Roku, zipping around through the menus in the Roku. I used the Roku remote instead of this. It'll work, but it just takes a lot longer to navigate.
I noticed here you have Super Speedway on DVD, so you go way back. That was one of the big surround sounds, wasn't it, when that first came out back in the day?
That was one of the Super Bit DVDs when they were doing those.
So this is one of your...
one of the panels. I took some 1x4s, and I've got a finish nailer, so I just made the top and the bottom so that they were just big enough to fit around the rock wool. It just squeezes the rock wool from the sides, and just finish nailed them together and just wrap that cloth around it, and took the finish nailer and put staples in it and just stapled them up. They're real quick to make. GIK happens to be here in Atlanta.
And you made these ones yourself?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Are these from GIK and then you make them yourself, or did you just make these from scratch?
No, I bought the rock wool from GIK.
Okay.
Because it's hard to find that stuff, right? But GIK's here in Atlanta, so I could just go down there and pick it up, put it in the car, and bring it home and have to pay shipping. And I went to Home Depot and got the 1x4s and cut them and put them together. But this whole room was with studs when we moved into this house. There was nothing down here at all. And I did everything in this room but lay the carpet. When I bought the carpet, I got them to come lay the carpet. I did all the electrical, the sheetrock, everything.
So when you did all that, did you do it knowing you were going to put a theater down here?
Well, that was the idea. But at the time I did the room, I had the 27-inch color TV. So it's changed a lot since I originally.
So there was no way you could have known to do the wiring for that equipment rack on the side there. That had to all been done after the fact.
I actually ended up rotating the room 90 degrees when I went from the TV to the projector, because the TV used to be over where the DVDs are. So, so all of my original wiring that I put in the wall is in the wrong place now. But I have access over the top of the sheetrock. So when I did the Atmos overhead speakers, I can run it to that tray ceiling that runs around the room. Just run the wires across to the tray, and So it's been pretty easy. You can see the tray there next to the Atmos speaker. So that's I can get up above the rack and get into that tray, and I've pulled new HDMI cables to my projector at least twice now over the years.
Nice.
My first projector was a quarter HD projector. It was a Panasonic quarter HD, which was a 540 height panel in the thing. So it made it to where it was real easy for the projector to scale it. And so it was a really crisp looking projector at the time for not being HD. But I went to an HD Panasonic and then an HD JVC, and now I've got the 4K JVC. So this is projector number 4.
Sounds like you future-proofed your room pretty well anyways, planned ahead, being able to get in there, and you've actually accounted for all situations, apparently.
How big is your screen?
Screen is 120 inches. It is it's Home Depot. It is, that screen is got 1 1/4 or 1x4 surround of poplar wood painted black, and that is ceiling white paint in the center of the screen. And I did it when I had my first projector, and I said, well, if I ever get the money and I want to upgrade, I can just hang a screen in front of it. It's not a problem. It's just sheetrock. Well, that was about 1998, and here we are in 2022, and I've still got the screen up there. But I've never noticed anything looking at it that made me think that I was missing anything. It's a flat white paint, so it works fine. I've calibrated my projector before, and I don't have any bad color shifts from the paint, so I've been real happy with it. I might get a little brighter image if I went for a real projector screen, but this works.
They even have paint that is for projector screens if you choose, but I don't believe you need to, as long as if you're happy. But that saved you a lot of money that you could put into some other equipment.
I think I bought a quart can of ceiling white from Home Depot for $7. That was my screen.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, the image looks great in the pictures. I mean, this image here, you got this is from 6 Underground, I believe. Is that correct?
Yeah, right. That's the beginning.
Yeah. That looks really nice.
And I put this color carpet in when we had a TV down here, and I was trying to make the basement nice and bright. And now it's a theater, and it's supposed to be dark, and I'd really like to have some darker colored carpet, but it's about 22, 23 years old down here now, so it's time for new carpet.
I mean, even just in a photograph, look at the detail there. Is that glass they're going through?
With that? Really?
Yeah. And the experience you're getting there at a 120-inch screen, it's honestly, it's like you said, you went to for $7, you've got this great screen. I don't know if you'll get the value out of spending money on any screen, a cheap one, an expensive one, whatever. I'm like, you've got a great room, a great image, and a great experience here.
Well, I've always been a do-it-yourselfer, always trying to save a buck. So, but I'm not afraid to spend money when the upgrade makes a difference, and that's how I ended up with a JVC NX5. Wanted the good 4K projector. So,
and it looks like you went the same route as I did, and you made your own shelf for the back wall.
I had to put that bracket on the top of the shelf because of the door right underneath there. There's no room for the bracket to go underneath the shelf. It hangs down from the wall rather than the bracket holding up but it hasn't fallen. It's been up there for years. So.
I've done the same thing. It's the same piece of board practically. You go to Home Depot, you paint it black, and you put your projector on it. And I mean, just looking at this picture of this projector, look how smooth the black plastic looks on that. It just looks gorgeous. And it's like, that's all you need. Just a little platform to put it on. Great job.
But for all of these pictures, I turned on every light I've got in this room, and it's never that way when you're coming in for a movie. You've got your little track lighting, mood lighting on, and you got the corners are dark, and the projector's up there somewhere, but you really can't see it. So this is kind of different, seeing everything all lit up.
Yeah, because I mean, you look at these pictures here, how dark the room is. That's it, when you have the lights off and the only thing lit up is the screen. And let me ask you this: I get a lot of my listeners, people say they can't get a projector in because they got a ceiling fan, and I noticed you have a ceiling fan in here.
There's a little chain that hangs off the bottom to change the fan speed. I had to shorten that chain because it was hanging down in the image. That's how close I am. So
right,
it is. It is right there. Just makes it underneath, but it's on a short pole, so it's up close to the ceiling. And this ceiling is probably 9.5 feet. It's not an 8-foot ceiling, so that gives me a little bit extra room to put the ceiling fan. And if you got a bunch of people in here and you've got the projector running, and it's summertime in Georgia, a ceiling fan is a really good thing to have.
Yeah.
But for most of the year, it's fairly cool down here in the basement. This one room in the basement is tied off of the upstairs air conditioner. So when the air runs upstairs, it runs down here, and on the edge, in the spring and in the fall, it's kind of a challenge keeping the temperature right. But I've got 2 vents. I can open and close them if it's too hot or too cold. And there's a big stack of blankets back there too, so keep people warm when it gets too kind of chilly.
It's a great look, this image we're looking at right here, of just from your room, and these, I love the muted, what is that, like a muted orange red, or
yeah, it's kind of a terracotta. The wall is a terracotta color.
Okay. And going with black ceiling, just really, really nice look, and the black leather seats. Beautiful look.
So Nelson, quick question, or actually it might take a little bit longer than what I'm thinking for you to answer. The original thought down here was to put a TV, and then as you decided to build it out into a full-blown theater, can you describe the progression? What did you do first, and then work your way up? Because a lot of people will see this end result and they'll think, it's going to take me forever to do something like this. And it probably took you a long time to do it. But if you do it in small chunks, it's not nearly as bad. And so describe how you went through that.
And that's the thing. I started off very modest. I had a 27-inch TV, and I went with what back then was the new Dolby Digital with DVDs as soon as they came out. So I had full surround sound in a 27-inch TV, and I was going the short way across the room. So towards where the rack is now was where the TV was, and the TV was small, but I had great sound, and as I could afford to upgrade something, I'd upgrade the pieces along the way to where, I've gotten to where now I feel like I've pretty much got everything where I want, and I'm just kind of tweaking things.
Yeah.
But for me, the sound came first. I went with the full surround sound and a big subwoofer, and got the sound right first. And projectors and HD were new at the time, and it was very expensive. So I kind of waited for cost to come down, and I ended up in that quarter HD projector because one day I was thinking, I can afford this. I could get that right now and start enjoying a projector instead of waiting another 2 years until I can afford one. So I went with the quarter HD projector, and worked several years later to upgrade to an HD model, and then years later upgraded to the JVC with the blacker blacks, which which is tremendous. I love the look of the JVC projectors. I've been real happy with them.
Yeah, and then along the way, you did the painting yourself, and that's something that everybody can do on their own as well. Painting the ceilings black. I mean, you need to be dedicated to do that. I don't know that I can get away with that, because my media room also functions as like an entertaining room that my wife uses. I have not gone to the same level that you and DJ have as far as like the decorations and making it look like a dedicated theater, but I get that experience when the lights go off, because you're only seeing the picture.
And that's all this room gets used for. It is the home theater. It's where we watch most of our TV.
You went almost the identical route as myself, Nelson. I started out with a 27-inch, upgraded to the 32-inch, Sony Trinitron.
Well, even if you've got just a television set, you can start decorating. You can choose what path you want to go. You can decide to go more, let's make this more of a theater route, and start putting the posters on the wall, painting the colors, and just having a regular TV in there, and then upgrading the projection at the end. Or you could just go with the projection and the audio, and then bring the other stuff in. So you can choose which path you want to take. But if you do it a little at a time, it's not as big a deal as when saying, okay, I've got an empty room and I want it to look like Nelson's. What does it take? Yeah, it took you some time. It'll take everyone time.
Yeah.
Short of having somebody come in and do it for you.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
Do you have any other questions, DJ?
No, I'm just in awe that there's another person out there just like me.
Oh, there's plenty. There is plenty. All right, so thank you so much for joining us, Nelson. We really appreciate you sharing your theater with our listeners. And if you would like to share your theater with our viewers, you can send us an email, aura@htguys or thebrightside@gmail.com, and we'll try and get you on a show in the future. So again, thank you, Nelson, for joining us.
I'm glad to do it. Thanks, guys, for having me.
Thanks, Nelson.